stage in a newly dead, burnt, crispy, bloody, or simply gone, and awkwardly posed, including Hero. Hero opens her eyes.
Saddam Hussein lasted 24 years. He hated Basra, the city I was born in. He used to say Basra is the bride of the Gulf, but she's a patient. Give her 3 days of nice treatment and then chase her to the fields. By the year 2016, it has been 13 years since the invasion of Iraq. He removed Saddam Hussein from power.
Hero sits up.
Despite the violence of the period, we are not all dead. In 1987, we had a population of perhaps 400,000. Now, despite all of the thirst, the starvation, the hate, and the death that has transpired in the intervening years, we numbered more than 1 million people.
Everyone gets up and starts cleaning up the blood and filth, except the British officer and British servant.
It was not a magic trick. We just kept having sex and kept having babies. I imagine that if we have got a little one to hold, you can keep eating and drinking whether life puts on front of you.
Women studies law, man goes shopping, 2 young men plays chess, a young man and a young woman assembles a machine gun, 2 more young men step a Katyusha rocket on an improvised launching platform.
The story this time begins in 2007, when the British military abandoned my city, Basra, to the militia.
With a 9-volt battery, the 2 young men launched the Katyusha rocket, which vanished in explosion. Everyone ducked. Everyone slowly gets up. Women studies law. Man goes shopping. 2 young men plays chess. A young man and a young woman complete the assembly of the machine gun. Young woman shows off a machine gun to one of the chess player. In English, looks at the gun.
What do you think this is, Texas?
A military man forced the young man off stage at gunpoint. In Arabic,
it is not heavy as I thought, but the bullets weigh a lot.
Aside.
When the British military left the city of Basra in 2007, some called it a defeat, but the British stays in a good spirit. My husband worked as translator. His name was Akil, but the British called him William. I also work as a translator, but I refuse to work for the British.
British office and British servant rise from the dead and clean off.
Be glad you are a man, William. Be glad you are a man. In Iraq, it makes a difference. In UK, it isn't a problem. In the UK, there is nothing immortal that a man can do that a woman isn't allowed to do as well. We are all the same temptations.
Absolutely.
Except masturbating. Women in Britain, just like Iraq, they're not allowed to do that.
Yes?
That's a joke, William. There is nothing wrong with women masturbating.
It's not so easy to tell when you're joking.
Why are you so nervous, William? You have earned a good living, but everything has to come to an end.
Working for you, it costs a lot of money to keep things quiet. Getting a ride to work, for example, I pay extra to the driver to be very quiet.
Sigh.
A confession. After 2 miscarriages and constant arguments about living in his mother's house, I'm not sure I loved Akil, but on my unsuccessful journey to have a baby, he was the only man. So when he went missing, I got upset.
Will you come back to Basra again?
We are not having the city completely. We are just holding the airport. But sure, give it in time. I bet you two, when I'll drop the religious division shit, right now you are acting a little too. Northern Irish, of my liking, a little shits, of political leadership, Akil, are simply moving into a different direction, a little awkward, but stay sharp.
It's too bad that you're giving up.
We are not giving up on you. We are giving up on me helping you. Not to worry. I'm quite sure for one reason or another we will be back.
Except British officer and servant and Akil turned and sees several military members exert a keep. Aside,
The militias imposed a ruthless sort of Islamic law in the days that followed. In the days that followed, 45 women were murdered.
Hero resumes bear dead poster. Military soldiers enter, and the woman and the young woman are bowled off. Aside,
I was not one of them, but during all the confusion, I lost track of Aki. He used to be gone all the time for British missions, days at a time, so I guess I thought he was still on a mission, but my mother-in-law suddenly became very sharp.
enter mother-in-law. Hero continues to play dead.
When did you last see him?
4 days ago,
And where did he go then?
to work,
Where?
the British compound.
No, he said he was quitting that work.
Hero sits up.
Your relationship with him had been bad, I can tell. No successful pregnancy. He said he wanted to move out of my house to be closer to the British compound.
It was safer that way.
That was a lie. It was because you were arguing and he was embarrassed by you. You embarrassed him. You sought to humiliate him.
Aside,
Perhaps not quite, Sherlock Holmes.
What?
Nothing. Look, I don't know where he is. I think maybe he just left me. He knew the job was ended. He kept the money and left me.
Idiot. Where would he go? I am in Basra.
Syria, maybe.
That is the other side of the world.
Syria is not that far, and it's safer there.
Safety is for children, not for adults, and my son is a man.
aside,
When the Americans and the British first arrived, I was as to whether Saddam would stay or go. He left, but even now I think I walk around and I remember Saddam's picture painting on the buildings or hanging in the restaurants. I remember my sister when she was little, she told me that she was going to marry Saddam one day, but my mother told her that she was too young for him, and anyway, Saddam was already married. His painting picture stayed at Basra entirely, and with a sincere smile that harbored a portrait hated against us for a long time. I will never forget him, but the next generation will not know how he was. That is the generation I would want my baby would be part of, if my baby was existing.
Now he's been missing for a year. Come on, let's go. I just want to know what happened to him.
aside,
Mother, take us to the police station. When I look at the building, instead of seeing pictures of Saddam, I see posters that say, "Laws the nation."
to mother,
Where are you going?
To the British.
No, absolutely not.
You speak English. You must talk to them.
My
aside,
husband and I learned English in college, where we met. It was an opportunity offered by my half-Christian background, which I rarely discuss, and the wealth his parents had before the invasion destroyed his father's business, which he used to float all the time.
to mother,
So what if I speak English?
They will help.
They might do many things, but they will not help.
What if he is in the UK now? Or America? They could tell us.
If he was in Europe and he has not told us, I will kill him myself.
Maybe you can start working with them.
No, I won't. No, I won't. You know, I begged Aki not to listen to you, not to going after the Eastern money in Basra when the British stormed into the city.
He was a man. He had to earn a living.
He wasn't earning a living. He was earning money, and over the radio, constant remains not to do it. I'll tell you a joke I heard a religious man saying.
No, you will not tell me a joke. You have no sense of humor.
I have a sense of humor.
Well, I have no sense of humor, so no.
It goes like this. Three men are competing with one another to be the worst, vulgar, crude, and evil. The first man saw a woman crying wood atop her head. He knocked the wood off her head and he beat her. The second man, he was even worse. He teared off her clothes and rapped her. The third man, he just stood back and watched. Then the other two men asked the third man what he would do to prove that he was evil. The man just laughed, and then the third man leaned into close and said to the other two, "That woman you beat and raped, that was my mother."
You are disgusting.
It's not my story. The radio told it to me. And you know the point of the joke was the woman was Iraq. The first man was Saddam. The second man was the Angus. And the third man was any person who standed by the wall and watched it happen, or who helped them out, like Akil, like William. In a country like this, whether they hate corporations like that, you made William go to work for the British. That was very generous. Akil, we do not go to the British, we go to the morgue.
He is not dead.
We go to the morgue, mother. The police won't help us unless we say we have been to the morgue and look at the pictures.
He is not dead.
Good, then we won't have to see his picture.
Side.
We sit down with the others.
Hero. Mother and several others sat down in a chairs while the morgue officer clicked through slides. The mother refused to look at the slides.
3,192. A middle-aged man with a small bullet hole in the forehead. Open blue eyes. 4,073. A young man with black hair, bruised, closed eyes, swollen lips, and black hair.
4,276. A bold middle-aged man with a mustache and a grimace showing yellow teeth.
Go back.
Go back to what?
4,073. Don't look, mother.
Here is the file that describes the discovery of his body. Would you like to see it?
No.
Yes.
Would you like a letter confirming his death? Would you like a letter confirming his death?
Yes, please.
Okay, no problem. Please, go to purchase paper and then I will write the letter and you will get a death certificate.
Mother looks at the file report. Reading from the report.
We discovered 4 unidentified bodies, their hands bound from behind, their eyes ill-folded, and their mouths gutted. The bodies bore signs of torture.
It was a confusing time. All of us were victims. Who was exception? No one was. Not the martyrs, not the policemen, no one.
If they just shot them, okay, but they just hurt you.
I picked a pink paper. I almost got a blue, but it was just like a little boy baby, so I got pink paper. Because we never even talked about having another girl.
Do you have a pen?
Yes, here.
Okay. Here is the letter to obtain the death certificate. I'm sorry.
What does this number here mean?
It is his grave in Najaf. Sorry, it is his grave in Najaf. You should go. It will bring you peace. You may clean the headstone with water, and it will bring you peace. I'm sorry. God be with you.
The morgue officer gave a hero the letter, but she keeps the pen and the paper.
Akil Latif, I wish you were in Europe so I could have my baby and kill you.
They will stop the violence. Try to look up. You know violence cannot diminish evil, it's manipulated. With violence they may murder the liar, but they cannot murder the lie. They cannot establish truth, so it goes. returning lie for lie and hate for hate.
Okay, look, I'll just change the words a little. If they have to see the peace instead of the diminishing evil allows it to multiply through peace. You may embrace the lie, but you cannot vanquish the lie. To establish truth, so it goes, return love for the lie and heart for hate.
I feel sorry for you. Come back and live with me, please. I am alone.
I will think about it.
You can marry again.
People go about their business, shopping, playing chess, assembling a machine gun. Aside,
The odds of getting hurt when random don't attack are not so much, but target kills are still a possibility, depending on how much you stick out. I am optimistic. Iran is investigating a lot of money into our infrastructure, and I have heard that some plans to build the largest ski captures in the world in our city. It was be called the Bride of the Gulf. Maybe I can marry again. Who knows? Then the United States and British and everybody else invaded Iraq in 1991. I was 10 years old. Then the United States and British and nobody else invaded Iraq in 2003. It was 23 now. I was 23 now. I am older. Time moves in one direction. Some days Adam and Eve lived and died near Basra. If the closest children of God can die in Basra, then we, the children, future from God, can join them. And it is not the compulsion.
everyone returns to the dead poster they helped when the play first opened. The end.
Okay,
I know.
what does everybody think the play is about? What's the message of the play?
Like since Iraq been invaded by the Britons, Omaki want her wife-in-law to go to their because she's gonna find their job.
Daughter-in-law to go to the British?
Yeah, and work there because she might find a job there, suitable job there. Since they invaded us. Yes.
Okay, the spirit of the play is kind of pro-invasion or anti-invasion.
Anti-invasion. I think it shows her patriotism, that she's a true Iraqi, right?
She's kind of making it clear that her husband betrayed the country because he worked for them and he was go after their money.
This is the point of view of hero, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the mother, is she pro or anti? Pro?
Because she's the one who encouraged him to do it.
She was encouraging the whole time. Just being positive. Yeah, and angry and furious.
The play simply describes the Iraq situation after 2003, where all people are carrying guns and they turn to be
Rockets.
yeah. So it's just like that. And there's a very interesting that when the hero was telling a joke to the mother about these three men who won. Yeah, that was showing that everyone is guilty in this country. Not only the invader and even the citizens are guilty as well.
Yeah, it was set in 2007 when the British forces, I think, they started to withdraw from Iraq. Right, and so they handed it over to militias and so on. The people said, for example, the British are losers. British said, no, we have won the war. People say, no, they have lost the war. So these contradictory views about the event, which is not history, but it is a present.
But
In addition, I think the play explores some means of violence and peace. This comparison between people who play chess and the people who are assembling the katyusha and the gun machine, and we have also, I think it's my opinion that when the characters stand up to clean the fifth, and the British people or the British officers did not do anything, that's maybe refer to that they have role in this damage, what has happened, and after that they didn't do something to resolve the situation. So maybe that this is my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, they created a mess and they just didn't do anything about it.
and the British sergeant was being sarcastic about it. I don't know how, but she was being sarcastic.
Yeah, the director wants to show us that a lot of people in this in 2003, sorry, a lot of people
That's
lost.
2007.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean the war. A lot of people lost their husbands, maybe brothers, fathers. Some of them still, until now, they don't know if they're dead or not. So they want to show us how this is really hard for them.
Yeah, and the irony that people are tended to numbers. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there are no names, but just 3,000 so and so. So it's very ridiculous when you are tended to a number, no more than a number.
Yeah, and the hero in the end doesn't have any house, so she's gonna live with her mother-in-law. Yeah, it was so kindly of her asking her to stay.
I want to ask about the historical information. I know it is a play and it is possible to change something, but in other plays, for example, Macbeth, there is another story. There is real actions. He is not referring to another actions, and he used this information. But he used some information and there is some mistakes. For example, at the beginning, Saddam Hussein lasted for 35 years, not for 24 years. So
No, he did.
when did
He came to power, I think, 1979. Yeah, and 2003.
before he was
the,
rolling,
24.
the president was just as a toy as
No. He's a president from 1979 until 2003, so I think that would make
24 years. So there is no mistake here.
No, I don't think. There's a mistake.
What about the population number?
Which number?
It's 400,000.
400,000.
What number is that?
It's for the dead people, I guess.
What?
The people who died, like?
No, I think the number of population
of
of
Iraq
the
during
country.
the
Yes. Of Basra, it's not Iraq.
just for us.
This is interesting. It's not about Iraq in general, but rather about the place about Basra. Yes. It's not about the plight of Iraq, but rather the plight of Basra. There are problems of Iraq, but Basra has some more additional problems. Yeah. So this is interesting for us, reading the play in Basra.
They were Basrawi. Hey.
Yeah, kind of.
I think that the play is written with a simple and a clear way, so we got the idea, and also the writer, used the facts with his point of view. He just viewed his opinion without taking in his mind that maybe people will, or most of the people will have an opposite opinion with what he show us.
So he has a message, you mean?
Yeah, he view it in a clear way, simple language. Everyone can understand it, but he just take his point of view.
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay, well, thank you, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, there you go.